most talented starting fives in the entire NBA.
Philadelphia is clicking on all cylinders.
The window is now. Our opportunity is now.
And with Philadelphia, the other story going on right now is, will they get home court in the playoffs? And what will their seeding be? This is one of the best teams in the NBA at home. It is one of the worst teams of any playoff team on the road.
Worst among all teams.
Listen, a lot of people was on the Sixers bandwagon at the start of the season. Guess who wasn't? I wasn't. And where they playing at, Rachel? At a neutral site.
The Boston Celtics move on by defeating the 76ers 4-0.
You didn't arrive at this place this season. I'm looking at everything if I'm the Sixers.
What do you think the issue is with this team?
Yeah, that was a stupid question. There's no issue. There was a lot of stuff going on and just, live and learn.
Sixers have fired head coach Brett Brown.
I want to switch gears, though, because Doc Rivers, not on the open market for long, guys. He has reached a 5-year deal to be the head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers.
5 years? If we're going to win, just can't keep doing what you've always done and think you're going to get different results.
Yeah, expectations are high. Everybody's coming with a good energy and a positive mindset.
I'm going to still try to do my best to bring the championship back to Philly.
All right, the cliffhanger for the 76ers, a long-running trope for this particular team. The Simmons and Embiid duo. Amin, do you still believe this duo can win at the highest level?
I believe in still giving it a chance, yes. I think these two guys are very, very elite talents at different positions. Has it always clicked together? No, but I think there's definitely things that can be done before we give up on this experiment.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on it. I think what they did by moving Al Horford, and now they're going to play all spacing to highlight their two best players, is going to change things for them. Nothing makes your best player look better than shooting. When you got a lot of shooters around, I know when we had LeBron and D-Wade, we packed that team with different guys that could shoot the ball, and that just made them look that much better. And so the Sixers have done that with their roster. I think they got a coach who has a chip on his shoulder right now, who wants to really prove himself again, reprove after already winning a title. But he's obviously gotten a lot of criticism from media and even players on his old team about how they used him. And I just think Doc is going to come in with a serious chip, and he's going to get these guys to play together and connect. And think about it. They were so bad on the road. What is the road about? The road is about team connection, because it's just you out there. And they didn't have that last year for whatever reasons, and hopefully Doc can mend that.
Yeah, and I think that is certainly something that they have to address. There's no question. Now, look, I picked the Sixers to come out of the East last year in the preseason during on ESPN.com. I don't know if I'm going down that path just yet. But I do believe in this duo. If you look at their surrounding cast, as you pointed out, Fizz, a couple of years ago, they had J.J. Redick, Ersan Ilyasova, Marco Bellinelli on that team. Simmons and Embiid that year, their net rating was like plus 18 or something like that. Then the next year, it was just J.J., right? They brought in Jimmy, they brought in less shooting, though. Now, I think that got cut in half. It was like plus 9, basically. Last year, it was like 1.6, plus 1.6 or something like that. They need the spacing. I think that is the biggest key for them. It allows them to roam and play their game. All right, next, the plot twist over the offseason was the hiring of Doc Rivers. Fizz, what changes most with Doc at the helm?
I think his edge. I just think Doc is at a place where after how it went down with the Clippers, I think he's coming in there with a serious edge, and he's going to make sure that they have it. I think Brett Brown last year was put in a tough position. It all kind of came tumbling down on him, but, that had festered over time, and I know he did a lot of work to try to fix it. But they moved to Doc, and I think Doc coming in with that championship or bust attitude, and Embiid coming in the best shape of his life will put them in a place, boy, that they're going to be a dangerous team.
Yeah, and Coach, this. Sometimes all it needs is a fresh voice, a fresh set of eyes to look at things. Brett, as you said, has been there for so long. It's hard to make drastic changes when you've been there for so long and everyone's kind of gotten used to one way. With Doc coming in, he can suggest some radical things, and everyone's going to say, well, that's what the new coach wants. The other thing is, you look at Embiid, you look at all the bigs that have played under Doc Rivers, whether it was DeAndre Jordan, Kendrick Perkins, going all the way back to Ben Wallace in Orlando. Doc has a way of unlocking bigs and getting them their full potential. And Embiid is clearly more talented than any of those names that I just named. I'm excited to see what Doc will do there. And also, in terms of the play calling, you know, one of the things that I love that they used to do with the Clippers was Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, what they called a snug pick and roll. It was so low, it was almost down on the baseline. You can't go under, you can't do anything. They're so close to the basket, it's very hard to defend. I want to see Simmons and Embiid do something like that. That way, taking Simmons' lack of shooting out of the equation. I think Doc is going to be great for this team.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. You guys nailed it. All right, here are the games 76ers fans will need to binge watch in the first half of the season. They've got 5 huge matchups on ESPN, coincidentally, all at home. That's a good news, or a good thing for Philly, obviously, because they were 31-4 at home, as we mentioned, but only 12-26 on the road last season. So, I mean, do you think they will be any better on the road this year?
Well, it's hard to be worse, George, right? They were kind of hit rock bottom. At one point, they had a better road record than the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks in the entire league. Mm-hmm. And obviously, that's not a good standard to hold. So part of me wants to say that it was just an anomaly, that there's no way that they're that bad on the road, particularly, again, with 2 elite talents like that. But the other part of it is also, I think that's going to be a point of emphasis coming in, knowing we were embarrassing away from Philadelphia. How do we correct whatever the issues were, whether it was travel, whether it was maybe having a night out on the town, whatever it is, we can take a look at what we did last year and say, we're not going to do that again this year.
Yeah, and this team, just think about where they were. They're a Kawhi Leonard fadeaway, hang on the rim shot away from really getting to a huge step in their progression, right? In the process, like they called it. So that team isn't far away. And adding a guy like Doc Rivers who's going to make them understand winning road games is going to get us those games at home. And Doc is going to really emphasize the defensive end and understanding how to make each other better and share the ball. And I think that's where that team is going to come together. And I got them being the number 2 team in the East right now.
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, I put it out there. Yeah, what?
No. Listen, I think that you could take those first 5 or 6 teams.
Superstars. They got 2 stars.
No doubt. Okay, let's move on. Let's get to spoiler alert because we could talk about it. The spoiler alert now. Caesars William Hill gives the Sixers chance of winning the East. So, Fizz, your bold prediction is 2nd for Philly. Now, I look at those teams, Bucks, Nets, Celtics, Heat, Sixers, Raptors. Man, you could throw them all in a bowl, pick out, names, and that could be the order because they're all that close, I think, in regards to their style of play, their rosters, etc.
Yeah, and I just think at the end of the day, you got 2 monsters on the same team, and they are a matchup problem for most teams that they're going to face. And let's be honest, they've underachieved to this point.
Sure.
No way that Miami should be going past them right now. Toronto shouldn't be blowing past them right now. And the Celtics and them should be fighting it out. Now Brooklyn's in the mix. I'm giving Philly the nod to number 2.
Okay. I mean?
Coach,
what you got, man?
Brooklyn got 2 monsters. Okay. Boston's got a couple of monsters. Milwaukee got the monster of all monsters there with the $229 million monster. And Miami, while they may not be fully fledged monsters, they are deep. They got a lot of monsters over there, and they run together. And I think the continuity of Boston, Milwaukee, and Miami, that's what I'm putting them ahead in terms of the equation.
Or buying or selling, Coach, him being among the league leaders in points.
Absolutely buying. I think this kid is a natural scorer. He's a matchup problem. If you go back to last year's preseason, he was averaging about 23 a game in like 4 games that preseason, and they were 4-0. And so to see him playing probably 6 more minutes a game this preseason in 2 games, and his numbers making that kind of jump does not surprise me, and he's going to be sitting right there in that group all year long.
Hold on. You want me? Okay. Sell. We're selling on this. We are selling on 28 points per game. That's way too high. Look, let me say this, right? There's a couple of things that are in the way. 1 is conditioning. Can he do this every day, every game throughout the season? 2 is, it is the preseason. Coach is right. He did this in the preseason last year and shot like 79%. What happened when he played in NBA games? He was really good. He wasn't that good, though. Look. I'm excited for him, and the Pelicans should be excited. But 28 points per game in his 2nd year, when he's barely played 20 games in his NBA career, me and my broker are saying we're selling.
All right.
Yeah, sell.
I'm buying. I'm with Fizz because if there's one thing I know about Stan Van Gundy, he's going to give his best player the ball a lot. and he's going to be able to score, and his second jump is so good, okay? So even when he misses around the rim, he's up faster than anyone else trying to get that first jump. So I'm going to buy on this one. Let's move on to another hot start. The Nuggets have carried their bubble success into the preseason. They have the third best offense, fourth best defense, and lead the league in preseason net efficiency. For context, the Bucks have led this category the past 2 regular seasons. It was just 3 games, but Amin, are you buying or selling Denver's preseason numbers?
I'm not even consulting my broker on this one. I am selling. The 4th best defense in the Denver Nuggets when 4 of their best defenders have all left in the last 12 months? No. I'm not here for that. The Nuggets offense is going to be amazing. I'm here for that. But defensively, this is a team that's going to struggle all year long. This is the problem when we play 3 preseason games against 2 different teams. You just don't get a clear picture of what you really are as a team.
You know what? I'm going to buy it. I think the experience that they've gotten